Hello everyone. This is our question number 6 from the series of discussion of previous year's questions of UPSC CSC. In this series we are discussing the questions of year 2013 and the question number 6 is given like this. Basically the three statements have been given by the great moral thinkers and philosophers and we have to define them, we have to explain them in the present scenario. The first statement given by the Mahatma Gandhi, he said, "There is enough on this earth for everyone's need, but not for one's greed." It means that Mother Nature has blessed us that we can fulfill our all needs, but it is not sufficient for one's greed, because greed is the evil. The next statement is given by the Abraham Lincoln. He said, "Nearly all men can withstand adversity." It means all men can face hardship, but if you really want to test someone's character, give him the power. Then you will know the real character of a person. And the last statement given by the Aristotle, that I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who overcomes his enemies. So basically desires and enemies. So these three statements, define them in the present context and always keep in mind that you don't need to cross. You must be in the limits in the words given by the UPSC, defined by the UPSC. So the statement given by the Mahatma Gandhi, let's define it first. By the given statement, Mahatma Gandhi tried to argue that we can lead a happy and a satisfactory life only when we are content with what we have. Greed is the source of all evil. It is the individual's greed that makes two parties confront each other in a cutthroat competition. So Mahatma Gandhi tried to explain that if you really want to live a happy life, then one virtue you must have, that you should be content with what you have. You should really give value to the things which you have in your life. This is an open-ended statement. You can explain it in any field of life, whether it is administration, whether it is environmental conservation, whether it is your personal life, whether it is your professional life. This is an open-ended statement and this applies in all field of life. If you try to explain it in the field of environment, so we are doing destruction to the environment. Human beings are the reason behind all the environmental destruction, devastation which are happening. Lots of the species are vanishing from the earth, planet earth. There is a large scale deforestation. Why? Because of the greed of the human beings. We can survive, we can coexist, but this is the greed which is the evil, which is the root cause for all the actions that human beings are doing. If we count in the field of administration, there is corruption. Corruption is happening. Why? Because to fulfill the higher urges, material urges of human beings, we are not satisfied. We are trying to find out our happiness in the materialistic thing, and when we try to find happiness in materialistic thing, there is no end. Okay, and this is greed which make people to go through competition. It confront them. You know, the next world, it is said to be, when we talk in the terms of water crisis that the mother planet is facing, there's scarcity of water and there is so much water pollution, the groundwater is depleting. So it is usually said that the third world war will happen for the water. It will make people to confront each other for water. Why this is happening? So the reason behind this, that we are degrading the planet earth. We are doing things out of our need, not out of our need, out of our greed. We are taking action out of our greed. In the present context, this idea is very important and there is an urgent need in the society that we should be content with what we earn through the legitimate means. If we talk in the terms of administration, so we should be content with what we are earning. Greed has no limits. That's why I see the greedy people, they are running after their materialistic urges endlessly and they compromise with their core values. And once you compromise their values, once you don't listen your inner conscience, there will be conflict in you and you will not aware about right or a wrong path, and there will be no satisfaction in your life. That's why greed is endless. and it lead to the moral degradation of individual as well as the moral degradation of a society as a whole. Okay, following the idea, we can construct a harmonious society. We can construct a society where there is no conflict, because everyone is trying to fulfill their needs only, and everyone is happy with what they have. No materialistic urges. Yes, they have materialistic urges, but to a certain point. It's not they are trying to finding their happiness, their satisfaction in materialistic thing only. There will be peace and cooperation when greed is not there. A society characterized by greedy people will only face the conflict and only face the wars. Being content with one's earning is the foundation of cultivating a moral ethical character. The new member, which will be our new member or our next generation, which will be the part of society, they will learn these values, that we should be content with what they have, and then a society will build up which will have a moral ethical character if we are furthering these values, the values of being fulfill your needs, not greed. Don't run behind your greed. In today's society, it is a necessity to cultivate these values among the people, particularly among the public servant. They are responsible for bringing good to the society. If we talk about the public servants, so they are known to be the steel base of the society, the steel frame of the society. They are the builder of society in real sense, because they take care of society, and they can present a role model also. If they are not corrupt, they are working well for the welfare of all, then we will be able to make a society which is full of happiness, no conflict, full of cooperation, and content will be there. So we define this statement in the terms of administration, in the terms of public servant. In the scenario, we can explain this statement in environmental conservation, in other fields of also, because this is basically open-ended statement. The next statement is given by the Abraham Lincoln, that yes, it is easy, comparatively easy, that you can withstand with adverse situation, difficult situation, because you don't have any other option at that time when you are going through your hard time, difficult time. So the Lincoln in this statement argues that real test of a man's character is taken, give him the power and authority, because when we give the person power and authority, then the person have lots of opportunities, lots of option, and he or she can take action. Every person faces the adverse situation passively, given the constraint of the options available. Only a man of noble character can withstand the urges of greed and tyranny, even when he has enormous amount of power. If a person who has an enormous amount of power, okay, then that person is free-handed. He or she can take any decision. If that person have only the materialistic urges, then he will engage herself for her self-interest only. That person will not think about society, her kinship member, and other marginalized section, the downtrodden section, not. That person will further his own interest only. In the present society, this argument holds great lesson for those who are responsible to the people. So who are responsible for us? Our legislator, the executive, the prime minister, all the person who are in the government, they are responsible for us. And they have the power also, the true power in a democracy. A character of a person cannot be judged by evaluating his merit. It is only tested when we place that person in the position of power. This is true because power and authority provide a person various options that he or she can further her self-interest, and in that circumstances, a person who has a noble character, he will not be attracted towards the materialistic thing, materialistic pleasure, self-happiness. And the society, present society is suffering at the hand of such people who have power, but they are not have that capacity to think about the society as a whole and to go for their the overall welfare. They are what they are doing, they are furthering their self-interest, they are working for their own wealth, and they are working for their own authority. So the character of a person can be judged by the giving them power. Okay, so this is our second statement. The Aristotle, the last statement given by the Aristotle, that although this statement argues that it is easy to confront and overcome one's enemy, but it is very difficult to confront the desires. So basically there is competition, we can say comparison between your enemy and between your desires. So Aristotle says that your desires are more dangerous than your enemy, because you will somehow overcome your enemy, because you can see that directly, you can judge, analyze that directly, you can think so that he or she is your enemy, and you will put all your energies in the fight against that person or that thing. Confronting an enemy is a compulsion for an individual. To confront one's desire is very difficult, because when you try to overcome your desire, first of all identifying your desires, whether it is wrong, it is right for yourself, and then when you find that it is wrong, then collecting the courage that no, I will not do this, this is not in my favor, this is not for my good future. So first identifying, then try to collect the courage and having a fighting spirit. This is a much more difficult, as it involves the resisting your urges for the materialistic desires. Aristotle rightly argues that one who overcomes the desire is much braver than who overcomes his enemies. Basically, Aristotle, by giving this statement, try to explain that your main enemy, your real enemy is your own desire, which are against your interest. For example, if you are UPSC aspirant and you really want to do something which is not in consonance with your goal, so first of all you have to detect whether this is something which is according to your goals, it will help you or it will make you happy to achieve your goals, or it will make you two step backward. Okay, so only a person of high morality and character can resist the temptations of desires. The present society faces an acute form of problem. This form of problem, even highly qualified people fail to resist the temptations of material gains and pleasure, and this becomes a sign of moral weakness. So this moral weakness prevails in the society. Even if people are highly educated, they go into the administration instead of doing the service of public, instead of going for the overall welfare of society, they try to further their self interest only, because they have a loose moral character. They are tempted towards the material gains and material pleasures. Okay, so thus what is required to train the people that they resist the material urges, and the biggest challenge for an individual to confront his own desires and interest in the face of adversity. So this is our question number 6 we have discussed. So in all those three statements, we tried to explain the statement in the present scenario specifically related to the field of administration, public administration, in the field of society. Next, whether you are a civil servant, you are a person of a society, we try to explain these three statements. So this is all, guys. Have a nice time, and these questions are giving us a guiding path. They are giving us the light in which direction we need to work. So whenever you have some statement given by a famous philosopher or a thinker, then think that UPSC can ask this question in the form of an essay, in the form of ethics question, anything else. So keep your spirits high and walk well. Happy Saturday.